The US midterm election results are close to complete, and the Republicans under the leadership of President Trump have suffered a notable loss. The Democrats are now projected by the polling website 538 to have gained 34 seats in the House, giving the Democrats 229 seats in total, an 11-seat majority. The swing was a little larger than expected. Crucially, however, the Republicans have gained 3 seats in the Senate, strengthening their control and ensuring that the end result of these midterm elections is a divided Congress. Welcome to policy gridlock. The result, of course, has one key notable implication for economic policy. President Trump's promise of further fiscal stimulus through additional personal income tax cuts is now very likely impossible to deliver. The drop in US Treasury yields and the depreciation of the dollar reflect that. The election result will likely also escalate tensions in Washington. We can now certainly expect much greater oversight of President Trump by a Democrat-held House. Greater scrutiny of executive decisions is likely, while fresh investigations on past irregularities within the administration are possible. What is less clear is whether we see any change in President Trump's approach to trade policy. Given the congressional gridlock, and given Sections 232 and 301 import tariff actions can be taken by the President himself, we may see little change in trade policy approach. President Trump will undoubtedly be encouraged by the lack of a surge in Democrat voting. Taking all 16 midterm elections since World War II, in the 14 where the sitting president's party lost seats, the average loss was 29. The projected 34-seat Republican loss in the House is therefore only marginally larger than the norm, while of course the Republicans gained seats in the Senate. The history of dollar performance in the aftermath of previous midterm elections provides no obvious indication of direction. In the last 10 midterm elections going back to 1978, the dollar has advanced on 5 occasions and declined on 5 occasions, covering the period from the election through to the remainder of that year. Similarly, over a shorter time frame covering just the last 4 midterm elections, the dollar has gained twice and declined twice. However, the 3 largest House losses in the floating exchange rate era for a Republican president were for Gerald Ford in 1974, Ronald Reagan in 1982, and George W. Bush in 2006. All 3 of these midterm election results coincided with US dollar depreciation through the end of those years. The 2018 midterm election results are broadly in line with the consensus, and hence we do not expect any substantial move for the dollar. But the removal of the risk of additional fiscal stimulus does reinforce the prospect of some slowdown in economic activity next year, which strengthens our belief of some depreciation of the dollar going forward. Speculative long dollar positioning remains substantial, and the risk of some liquidation ahead is high. We continue to target a gain in euro-dollar to the 120 level by Q2, Q3 next year.